And we are live. All right, let's give this another try. Welcome back, everyone, to Black Vortex Podcast, the only podcast in the world will be staring at a black screen for 30 minutes. All right, so today I basically just decided, you know what? I got nothing else to do. Might as well live stream for today. Could do me some good, and I really do not want to just completely forget about this podcast. Yeah. So, apologies for any chewing noises. I am currently chewing gum. I will take it out right now. And so, once again, got my Blue Yeti mic set up, filter, stand, all of that stuff. So, I figured today we could talk about a show that I've been wanting to talk about for a really long time now, ever since it finished a couple of weeks ago, The Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, yeah, and I wanted to cover this because this show has had a really mixed reception online and stuff. Like some episodes have been praised to high heaven and all that stuff. Other episodes have been like, that was not what I was hoping a Boba Fett spin-off would be. And so, yeah, I wanted to cover my thoughts on it. Um, and a bit of background context, if you know, just gonna lower my mic a bit. No, gonna raise it back up a bit. Sorry about that. Live streams, you always like, is that microphone too high? Does it need to be lower or So, yeah, background information. Book of Boba Fett has been in development since late 2020. Its first episode released on December 29th, finished around late February, I think so anyway. And so yeah, a bit of context. Boba Fett appeared as a side character in Mandalorian from season 2, episode 8, The Tragedy. That was the name of the episode. And he was a regular for the final 3 episodes of the season. And at the end, he takes Jabba's palace and they advertise a spin-off called The Book of Boba Fett, which was to be written by Robert Rodriguez. Not written by, it was going to be directed by Robert Rodriguez. At least 3 of the episodes were, and written by Jon Favreau. Robert Rodriguez directed Boba Fett's debut episode, and Jon Favreau had written almost every episode of The Mandalorian for both its 2 seasons. And there was a lot of speculation about the show was online. People were like, "Wait, is this like The Mandalorian season 3? Is it just going to be a spin-off? Is it going to be a movie? What is it?" Eventually revealed it was going to be a 7-episode series following Boba Fett in this new chapter of his life. See what I did there? Book of Boba Fett, yeah, all of that stuff. And it's going to be following his like journey as being the sort of like one of the kings of Tatooine and all that stuff. It ran for 7 episodes, and as you can see, from what I said earlier, it did have a mixed reception. Like, you just need to check Rotten Tomatoes to see it has a 73%. No, not 73. I think it was around 81% the last time I checked, but that was a while back. 81% critic score, but on the audience score, based on a lot more reviews, it was around 61%. 61%, and that's like teetering on the edge of rotten in audience score. If something's fresh on the audience score, it has like this bucket of popcorn, standing up. But if it's rotten, it has like this fallen popcorn bucket, which is like green and stuff. So you can tell from that critics enjoyed it, but general audiences had mixed feelings towards it, despite the fact that it did have a positive score barely positive score anyway, on Rotten Tomatoes. And overall, I enjoyed the show. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. I did enjoy the show. Now, yeah, that doesn't mean I think it was like great or amazing. It was okay, but I can say I enjoyed the show at the very least. And yeah, undoubtedly had its flaws, but for me, the positives of this show just outweigh the negatives. So let's get into what I disliked about the show before we get back to what I liked about the show. Oh, quick side note. Right now, I am wearing my my Boba Fett T-shirt released around the time Boba Fett's debut in The Mandalorian. It's a really cool T-shirt. It's black and like it's got like a spray painted Boba Fett mask on it, and it's like it's faded green and then this red like 3D T with like red paint dripping down it, which is a really cool effect. And it looks really cool as well. One of my favorite T-shirts, along with the Mandalorian T-shirt that I have. I'll probably wear that when I want to cover the Mandalorian for the first time. And so I'm going to go over what I think is bad about the show, so I can go on with good, and we can end this review on pretty much a positive note. The bad about the show, I feel like they made Boba Fett sort of a side character in his own show. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of episodes, 2 episodes in that, which basically he does not have a lot of relevance to the plot, or he's just standing by the sidelines sometimes. I won't say sidelines, that's a harsh term to use. It's in no way as bad as the way Master of the Universe Revelations sideline He-Man. God, that show sucked. Yeah, I like Kevin Smith's work normally, but he really messed up with that show. But yeah, we're getting off topic here. That's not the point of this live stream. And then yeah, but they didn't do it as bad as that. He still had an overall presence in most of these episodes. But yeah, and Fennec Shand, a character who appeared in episode 5 of The Mandalorian, not that I have against the character. She is a good character and played really well by the actress who name I can't remember. I'm sorry, but yeah, she seems to do more than Boba in the show. Not to say that Boba doesn't have like his I'm just gonna call him Fett from now. Not to say that like Fett doesn't have his fair share of action moments. He does have a few fight scenes and stuff. But yeah, that's one of my main issues with the show. Another main issue I have is that it sort of felt like everything was rushed in the last episode, In the Name of Honor. No, I'm saying that randomly. Episode 7 was called In the Name of Honor. And that sort of is like and that's irony, because like the episode 5 and 6, which I think are the best episodes, which were Return of the Mandalorian and From the Desert Comes a Stranger, if they had been like removed and entirely, if episode 5 hadn't been so much about the Mandalorian, it had been more about forwarding the story a bit, I think episode 7 wouldn't have felt as rushed or as unconnected to some people or as terrible. But I won't say I found the episode terrible. I found it just meh, to be completely honest with you. Episode 3 of the season, Streets of Mos Espa, was probably the worst episode for me. Overall, yeah. And I found some elements of that episode a bit weird, like, and I forgot the point I was making there. Episodes. I don't know what I'm saying here. Yeah, other issues I had, the flashbacks of episode 1 and 2 feel sort of like they overtake the main story. From like episodes 1 to 4, those flashbacks feel like they take up over the main chunk of the story. And I feel like if those were short, so not to say that they were bad, they were actually really good in some of my favorite parts of the show. But I feel like if they were shortened slightly, then overall the show's pacing could have improved slightly. And I think some of the characters were a bit unneeded, like the Vespa biker gang. I just didn't like them, and it wasn't because of their character, they just felt a bit unneeded. And their speed chase in episode 3, that was just, and I'm not going to entirely blame it the way it was shot. It was just looked really exciting, and that's probably because it was written that way. It would have been cool if it was said of them. It was like Boba Fett chasing the Mez assistant on his like jetpack, or maybe in Slave 1 catching up to him. That would have been really cool. But yeah, and episode 3 in itself is a whole problem. It's a whole issue I have with the show in general. Episode 3, not to say it was like awful, like it ruins the show, but it was just bad. Not a great episode, and it's still rewatchable, but like, compared to the other episodes that showed some of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's previous contributions to Star Wars, it just didn't work for me entirely. Anyway, let's move on to the good, because there is good in this show. I feel like a lot of critics, online critics and YouTube commenters, have been ignoring that. It is shot well. Robert Rodriguez does have a knack for scenery and action sequences. He does shoot it really well. Episodes 5 and 6, Return of the Mandalorian and Stranger from a Strange Land, they are two of the best pieces of Star Wars I think we've had in years, along with the Mandalorian. My only issue is they should have been episodes 1 and 2 for the next season of Mandalorian, not Book of Boba Fett. They showed Best Pretends Book of the Mandalorian for those two episodes. But anyway, yeah, they were really good, and I did enjoy them a lot, and the way they were written, shot, and all those were really good. Second of all, performances from the cast. There wasn't really a bad performance in this season, I would say. Not entirely. Actually, no. There weren't any I would say, yeah, that was bad. But yeah, Tamara Morrison was brilliant as always as Boba Fett. Actress who played Fennec Shen, I think her name is Ming Na Wen. If I have that wrong, I really do apologize. They were both great. Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian, once as always, he's outstanding. He's really the only person I could see playing that character at this point. And also I should mention, also, yeah, spoilers ahead for some of it. I probably should have said that at the beginning, but most of you tuning in have probably seen Boba Fett, or most of you who are going to be watching this in the afterrun after this video is finished being live. And yeah, Episode 6. I really like the way they showed the Mandalorian and Grogu, or as the internet knows him, Baby Yoda. They showed their dynamic really well, and how Grogu changed the Mandalorian. I really like how they did Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka in Episode 6. They were both amazing with how they played it. I don't mind Grogu coming back to the Mandalorian because, I knew he was going to come back to him eventually and return someday, so it wasn't like they ruined the season 2 finale type moment for me. Well, it wasn't for me, at least. It probably was for other people, and I get why they might feel that way. So episode. Also, as I said, the fight scenes were excellent. The use of the Rancor was really cool, the way they developed it. And the flashback sequences were really good, with like the train fight with the Tusken Raiders. And all that stuff was good, how it showed how Boba escaped from the Sarlacc pit. And that was really good. I'm listening to some music right now as we record this podcast, so if you could just hear some earlier, I apologize. And yeah, I would say overall those are the positives, but I really like how they develop the Tusken Raiders as like a society. In this, it sort of makes Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, where Anakin was killing all of them, hit a bit harder when you realize they weren't just animals, they were actually functioning society of people. And overall, yeah, I can't say I enjoyed it, but it does have its faults. That's my basic summary for the whole show. So anyone who says it's a terrible show or it's like a really bad portrayal of the character are being ridiculous, if you ask me. Also, I have to say, people say they ruined Boba Fett's character in this. He didn't really have that much of a character in the original trilogy, episodes 5 and 6. He was just, the reason he became popular in the first place wasn't because of his personality or the way he was written. It was because he looked cool and people wanted to see more of him. And yeah, so I don't see that. And also it makes clear in The Mandalorian we actually get some speaking parts, like his mindset has changed, and I love the way that how they explain that with like his epiphany of the rank of it, where he realizes, wait, why do I have to keep serving others? I can serve myself, and they establish that really well in season 2 of The Mandalorian, where he literally says, "I serve no one," which is really good, which fit in with his character from this show. Anyway, so if I did an overall review of the summaries, episode 1, Stranger from a Strange Land. Yeah, I know some people had problems with that. I would say overall it's an okay start, a good setup episode. It was just lacking in a bit of content. So overall, I give that about a 7 out of 10. Episode 2, the trials, the tribes of Tatooine was a really great episode. I give that around a 9 out of 10. Episode 3, Streets of Mos Espa, as I said, that episode sucked. I give that about 3.5 out of 10. Episode 4, um, episode 4, I can't remember what that's called, but it has the subtitle. I thought that episode was actually pretty good. I'd give that a 7 out of 10 as well. Episode 5 and 6, Return from the Mandalorian, and From the Desert Comes a Stranger. I loved it. Cad Bane was awesome. Seeing him in live action was amazing. I give both those episodes 10 out of 10s. And the final episode, In the Name of Honor, I'd probably give that a 5 out of 10 because it has both aspects I loved and hated. I'm just going to look at what episode 4 of Book of Boba Fett was called. Just a sec. Just going to move my microphone so I can reach the keyboard. Oh, sorry, my microphone just dropped. Anyway, overall, episode 4 was called The Gathering Storm. I'm sorry, guys, I'm gonna have to end the live stream right here because I'm having a bit of microphone issues. Anyway, overall, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider liking and subscribing. It's really appreciated. Shows your support for the channel. I'll be back next week for another live stream of Black Vortex. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be going over the Kenobi trailer next week because I know that's long overdue. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed the live stream. As I said, like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and goodbye.